Welcome to Alternate Ending, where we're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm your host, Robert Jarasinski. Across from me is my wife, Carrie Jarasinski. I've got to get something off my chest before we get too deep into this particular episode. First of all, actually, before I do that, celebration. Happy 7th episode. It's a big deal.
I'm glad you said that. I thought for a second there you were going to say like happy anniversary and I forgot or something like that. No,
that's not like, well, I wouldn't put it past you. But no, I'm celebrating our 7th episode. It's a big milestone.
Isn't it because people all quit at 7?
That's what I've read. Yeah, there was a colleague of mine at work, Brad Newman, had passed me. He was reading some marketing materials and they were talking about podcasts. And he was saying that the average podcast lasts only 7 episodes. Are you feeling like you're on that breaking point? Are we going to make it to 8?
I think
there
we'll
be
make
an
it
8?
to 8. There'll be
wow.
an 8.
So that's more than half. We're better than half the podcasts out there in the world.
There you go.
Yeah, that's about where I feel. Right in the upper 50%. Mom would be proud. No, I wanted to talk about something, and it makes me sad just thinking about it. I got a new pair of glasses about 2 weeks ago, and you haven't been really looking at me the same way since I've purchased these new glasses. So
you mean they're not really glasses, they're like glass shades?
They're not. So for those who haven't seen, I went with
who's the guy that you look like?
Well, I think I look like my colleague Jack Williams thinks I look like Johnny Depp.
It's not Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp
it's
kind of look.
The guy from Mermaid.
You're thinking James
Mannequin.
James Spader.
James Spader.
Not
James Spader.
Not 80s cool James Spader, but like blacklist James Spader.
Like
overweight.
A little
James Spader.
overweight James Spader. Yeah.
That kind of hurts. That
it feels deep. Rude that I'm saying.
So
it out loud,
I got the transition. I went with the transition lenses, and you think it's a mistake?
I mean, it was.
I'm just one of these people now. Like now that I've done it, I don't think I feel so guilty about going back and be like,
gotta go back.
The wife does it. Can I use you as the reason?
I'm fully supportive of that. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So if I'm not looking you in the eye during the majority of this podcast,
it's just such a pain. Like I try to be a pragmatic person, and it's such an easy thing to not have to reach for the sunglasses constantly. So it's nice to step out when the sunlight. Mm-hmm. Do I look like I have bags in my eyes right now?
I get the convenience factor, but it's really not worth it. I feel like you need a smoke in one hand and.
Oh, okay. Like I should be in some
and I'm gonna start snapping.
Okay.
Well, so
I might have new glasses by the next episode. Going back just really quick, doing a little recap. You had a little bit of backlash on your. Well, that's not true. On our last episode was our top 5 movie bombs. A little bit of backlash on your parameters. Although you had a few supporters. John Kaczynski did support you and your Wizard of Oz pick.
Yeah.
But Kelly and Tim Barnes both not fans of your selections for that and your criteria, I should say, for your top 5 movie bombs.
Let's not focus on the negative here.
All right. Well, we'll focus on the positive. Looks like you're going to have like a ladies' night. Rachel Scatia mentioned that listener said that you guys are going to get together. She had shared a list like top 5 movies you enjoy watching over and over again. Oh, you would watch
over and over. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And you'd pick. I think you said fried green tomatoes was the. It
was
weird.
I
read that list and like half of them resonated with me. I was like, oh yeah, I guess I wouldn't mind watching that one. But like some of them were just random.
Everything
random
on TBS,
picks.
like everything over and over again. Bed of Roses, maybe.
I don't know. Was Bed of Roses on there? Oh, you're just saying that's what you would. I'm
just throwing that out there. That just came to me right now.
You would watch Bed of Roses over and over again.
I wouldn't turn it off if it was on TBS.
See, if it's something over and over again, it can't be sappy for me. Like, I would need either to laugh multiple times, like
you have
lots
to run the gamut
action.
of all of your emotions. It has to be like you laugh, you cry. It's and I take something away from it, like all of my movie selections.
All right. Well, this week we'll see if your parameters meet the audience's needs. We're doing our top 5 directorial debuts, directors who knocked it out of the park their first time out to bat. Really looking forward to it. But before we get there, we got to talk about the movies we saw over the last 2 weeks in our top 3 worth mentioning segment. So it's basically of the movies we've seen the last 2 weeks, which are the ones that stood out the most to us. They could be great movies. They could be terrible movies. We share them worst to first. We might not even decide to share them, keeping a couple in our kind of be just on the side, setting them aside for our rec segment where we'll sign them to ourselves later. But my buddy Lo was out for a visit. Lo Kung was out for a visit the last couple of weeks, so my movie watching increased significantly since he was here. In 2 weeks, I saw 13 movies. And how did you do? Did Lo being out improve your movie watching as well?
Hang on. I think I did maybe 8 or
Eight's
8
a good,
or 9.
Eight's good. That's like my average that I'm. So you're really up there.
I was trying to keep up.
I feel like and I think all 8 that you saw, we saw together, including your rec. So I saw 5 additional movies. Do you think that we'll have any overlap of movies that we want to talk about? I think there's a good shot. I'm gonna go.
So here's my thing though with this week's movies. Like all of them, not all of them, but a lot of them were like evenly rated for me. So like I had a lot of 3.5s in the last couple weeks. So it's like hey, I enjoyed it. Like I'd watch it. It was good. Not sure.
I don't know if I had a lot of 3.5s.
I
feel like you're generous.
3.2.
Well, let's get into it. So do you think we'll have I think we'll have. Let me look at. I think we will have one matching. Is my guess.
If you're not gaming me.
I'm not gaming you. These are like I had to think back and let me think. There's no gaming. I did not think of you necessarily in selecting these, but I think that we will only have one match.
Okay. And my first one's Before We Go.
I do not have Before We Go, and it was tough. That was up there for me as my third, my worst, not worst, but third pick of the movies I saw last week.
So I had to. There were 2 that were kind of on the same plane.
No, maybe I covered it for you.
You probably did.
We'll see.
And so I just went with this one for different reasons.
Before We Go
is Chris Evans and Alice Eve. I don't even know what else she's been in.
She was in Star Trek First Darkness or whatever, the last Star Trek.
I had never seen her before, but
she's been in some other stuff.
She's been in some things. And so they meet up in like a Manhattan train station very late at night, and she has no money and has lost her phone's broken, like is in a bad scenario, and then he's sitting there randomly playing a trumpet for money, and you have no idea, like leading into it, you have no idea what's going on. Like, is he homeless? And just a very handsome homeless man randomly playing a trumpet.
I didn't think that he was homeless.
Really?
I don't know why that came.
I thought he was just a very handsome homeless man.
No, that didn't.
When I talk about Chris Evans, I realize I get an accent.
Well, it was interesting. This was his directorial debut.
Hey,
so
man.
It's funny.
Way to steal my thunder.
Oh, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, but it's just fitting that we're doing directorial debuts. And this was
I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay. All right.
So anywho, the 2 of them, she's like in a pickle and needs help. And so he sort of obnoxiously provides his help. Like, to me, obnoxiously, like...
He's obnoxious?
Well, so I guess it goes both ways. Like, she was just... So, it's like, get the hint, man, kind of thing. Like, she needs help, clearly, but she's kind of a snot and keeps kind of, like, brushing off his help when he's trying to kind of get
I would not turn down anything from Chris Evans.
Like really, well, I wouldn't either.
In fact,
that's my only
I would
thing.
be jumping through hoops to help him out.
Sure.
Help the guy out. But
sure.
in fact, he's the one who's offering assistance.
If it's Spader, I would call the cops.
Spader, if he had some rapist glasses like I have on.
But in this case, I understand why she let him linger on, but it had its highs and lows for me. I think for me, the ending was the best in the sense of like how it wrapped it up for me and just the kind of range of emotions. I think how I felt like, and I felt like you could kind of, you started to feel more and more connected, or at least I did, through the characters and their situation and their feelings, and you really grew to believe their relationship more than I did at the beginning. The beginning was kind of a little bit of a flop for me, and then it grew to be better.
I didn't like her character.
Well, she was just a major dill hole.
Yeah, she didn't have the redeeming quality to make me want
him to like her.
I just liked him, and
right.
I was okay.
Right.
I just wanted him to end up with someone better than her.
Sure.
And not that they end up together. Who knows what happens? You know, this for a directorial debut, he, he's got some promise. I look forward to maybe seeing what he has next.
I don't think he's done anything else yet. Has he?
No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so this was his debut.
His foray, and I think he really liked it. The articles I read afterwards, after seeing, I get in the zone where after I watch a movie, I want to know so much more about it, so I go and do some extra homework. No, he really enjoyed doing it. It wasn't really. I don't know if you have the IMDb stuff. It wasn't
6.9.
Yeah, well, that's actually pretty high.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of the Chris Evans fans voting on IMDb
I'm sure
there,
it was.
but I don't think on Rotten Tomatoes it did very well. Critics didn't like it. The sense I got from it was trying to be before sunrise, and that whole series of just like random situation brings two people together, and it's them spending a wacky night together, kind of talking, and it's more talking things through philosophically and going through situations
But it
together.
felt realistic, though. Like, it could happen. Like, it wasn't one of those where it was so far-fetched that I felt like...
No, it wasn't far-fetched.
No. Yeah, like, that could happen.
But yeah, it's a kind of a slow movie, and that it's just a lot of conversation and a little plot, because Linklater does those Before Sunrise movies. So not a whole lot of stuff happens. It's almost like you're creating scenarios to just keep them talking longer and exploring themselves.
Would you recommend it to people?
Yeah, for free.
Again,
Since
yeah.
it's for free.
Like, that's how I looked at it. To me, it was a
time.
3-point deuce.
Oh, man. You're giving it...
Point deuce.
You're just much more generous.
I think it was fine. Like, and again,
2.5 to 3, somewhere in there for me.
The free factor already gives you 0.5 higher.
I don't give any extra bonus points.
Well, I have different parameters.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do, and that's why you fail.
So, anyway,
it was an honorable mention. Well, all my movies are honorable mentions. But
so that was my number 3.
Good one. No, good, solid movie. I went a different route, and it'll be interesting to see now if this makes it higher up on your list. I went with Your Sister's Sister.
That was my number 2.
Yes. All right.
Yeah?
So we're kind of like we're
Sort
one
of.
off. We're
Yeah.
one off from one another. So this is a 2011 movie, hour and 30 minutes. IMDb gives it a 6.7. Rotten Tomatoes 83%, pretty solid. So this is written and directed by Lynn Shelton, who you might remember. She did Laggies. So I don't know in your research.
Similar tone.
It's got the same, like, this is more of like a little bit more independent than Laggies. Laggies was a little bit more polished and starred Keira Knightley. This one stars Mark Duplass, who I just seem to like everything he's in.
He's so funny.
Do you like him?
I do. He was the one we talked about that was in Creep, which was...
Yeah, he's been in Creep. He's
plays,
done a lot of low-budget
his
movies.
His comedic timing is one that it's like, I find myself like, was that really even funny? But then I find myself laughing, and I don't even know why sometimes at him. But
I like, and if you're a fan of The League, that's who Mark Duplass is.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt's in this, and I've
She's
got
good too.
Yeah, I must have a little crush on her or something. I don't know what it is, but I like Emily Blunt
it's
a
the
lot.
accent.
It might be I've liked her when she does her American accent too. So it's not just you know what it is? Since
her face.
Adjustment Bureau, which you claim that you don't remember seeing with Matt Damon.
I've never seen that.
Okay. Rosemary DeWitt is also in it, but basically it's Emily Blunt's character invites her friend Jack back. Jack's been having a bad year. And she's like, go stay at my parents' cabin on this island off of the coast of Seattle
Somewhere
or
amazing,
of Washington, little cabin in the woods. Go get your stuff together. Like, you need this time alone to yourself. He gets there, and her half sister is there.
Who's by? You said Rosemary DeWitt. Yeah.
Who's played by Rosemary DeWitt.
Who I think is pretty funny too.
Interesting, yeah, it's funny too, and it's a very small budget movie. Everything kind of happens pretty much in the cottage. I don't want to go explore too much about it, but it's just really interesting.
It's
kind
like
of the
is it
situations.
indie? Like,
yeah, it's
kind
definitely
of like
an indie movie. Yeah,
just very I feel like it's very reflective.
Indie.
Type
it was
movie.
shot in 12 days and
12 days.
12 days, which is amazing and mostly improvised. And I'm a big fan of those improvisational type scripts where it just feels so natural and it's conversational, and I really enjoy that kind of stuff too. So
yeah, I think it for our personal demographic, it challenges some things. Like, people are at these kind of middle stages of family stuff. People are dealing with loss. People are dealing with all these different things that I think everyone can relate to. And
maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just getting old, because this is
think
like a
that's probably
30-something. Definitely,
it's a 30-something
if you're
movie.
a 30-something movie, I feel like this will be in your wheelhouse. Not to say anybody outside of their 30s wouldn't enjoy it. It's just like, yeah, it deals with that,
more
like
so
coming to terms with life
coming
events,
to terms, yeah,
you know?
like
And
just
then,
in general.
But then thrown in, like, they throw in some. It's interesting writing. There's some interesting dynamics in there as well too.
But yeah, just really funny comedic timing. Like,
You just like Mark Duplass.
I know.
And I find him funny,
and
too.
it's not because of his face.
I was trying to think. Oh, okay. The movie that I was thinking of that, oh gosh, he's been in so much I like that are indie movies. If anybody's seen Safety Not Guaranteed, I think you might have seen that with me. And The One I Love. He's been in so many like little indie movies. Yeah. He just does anything. He's willing to do anything, and everything he does, I really like him in it. So Rachel Weisz was originally cast as the Rosemary DeWitt's character, or the older sister.
I'm glad it was Rosemary DeWitt.
Yeah, but that would have explained the British.
Oh, yeah.
So they had to rewrite it because Emily Blunt has a British accent, and Rosemary DeWitt does not. So they kind of explain that away in the movie, which makes sense. It's not like a thing I harp on. Or
I thought
like
it was actually kind of
on.
weird that they explained it. It felt very deliberate. Like, hey, she's British because she was born there.
Right. They spent a lot of time kind of going over it. So originally it would have been a lot probably smoother had it been Rachel Weisz, but I think two British ladies.
Doesn't she have an accent too?
Rachel Weisz is British.
So why does that make any more?
Because Emily Blunt,
right.
It would have been sisters.
Okay, yeah.
It would have.
I got the sisters swap there. All right, whatever.
It would have been fine. But yeah, I definitely recommend this one. This one would be more in that 3.25
Again,
range
the same.
for me.
This was 3.25 for me too.
So why is it lower than your 3.5 before we go?
I mean, I said they're all in the same for me this time.
Okay.
Like nothing.
Didn't have to pay for it for free right now on I think Amazon Prime is where we saw it.
I'd recommend it to like most of my girlfriends would think it was cute and funny.
Do you think the guys could hang in there and watch it? Because it was, I think, definitely more female focused of a movie, but I really liked it. So I mean, but I'm not a good barometer for
you're definitely not.
Dude
movies. Yeah, I think I probably am, but I still think it's doable. Like it's
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I think it's even relatable for guys. Like his character's relatable in the situation.
I just like simple movies sometimes. It was such a simple...
Yeah, there was nothing to it.
There was nothing to it, but it still had character arcs in it and good acting and sweetness.
Yeah, drew you in. I definitely wasn't bored or looking at my phone.
We're cruising. So that was your number 2. So what's your number 1?
I did...
Oh, wait. Sorry. Do I need to do... Yeah. Okay, no. I got to do mine because I just ate through your...
Oh, because that was your third?
Because that was my... That was my first one. Yeah, that was my third. So I will go with my second, which is the Barkley Marathons, which I put up here.
I didn't do that one.
Yeah.
It was kind of a weak documentary, so.
I don't think it was weak. I think the reasons I liked it were probably just because I have more of an affinity with running. And I just really...
What do you mean? I went for at least
Now that I put it here, I feel a little
today.
guilty that I put it here. You ran 7 miles today?
No, I didn't.
We
Just
have
up
been
and down
running
the
more.
stairs, yeah.
We've been doing a lot more running. Since my buddy Lo
Which I
came,
hate.
we did not run much. But our first week was pretty solid.
It was
we
really
ran
awesome.
3 times each of us.
3 times, yeah.
We've kind of lost our way this past week with zero. These past 2 weeks.
We had that 1 week streak.
Just
where
been
we're really
mostly
on.
making up for it with just eating and drinking.
I feel good about it.
Yeah. So we're just carb loading for our next one. Barkley Marathons, subtitled "The Race That Eats Its Young," in 2014, hour 29 minutes. IMDb gives it an 8.1, Rotten Tomatoes 67%. It is a documentary, and it deals with this kind of absurd race that's been around for over 25 years, that only 10 people have ever finished. And actually, I think that's
13.
Is it? No. I mean, I don't know if 13 people have
I thought
finished.
it was more.
You just ruined it. It's okay.
No one's watching this documentary.
Everybody's going to watch this. I
No
tagged
one
4
is.
people in this. I have some friends who are ultra marathon runners.
It was a courtesy thing when they were like, "Well, check it out."
Yeah.
They were
No,
really
they
like,
were not. So it's this absurd race based on a historic prison escape, and it's created this cult-like following. No one knows how to actually enter this race. I've tried to research it just because I want to enter your name into this race, which I think would be funny. But there's no way. There's no real way to enter. It's not like you go online and you log in and you send
I think
away.
you have to send it by mail. I don't
send
think
it by
he takes
mail
email.
to idiot at P.O. Box, something like that. You have to write these like, you have to write an essay as to why you should go in.
Right.
It's just it's the guy who started the race. He is the best part of the documentary because he's
he's
this character. But what it is, it's this run through the Tennessee hills.
Like mountains, yeah.
Mountains.
What is that? What mountains is that? I'm not going to even say it out loud.
Oh,
It's
man,
like
I
the
don't know.
Appalachians.
Appalachians, thank you. It's nice, good save. It would have been crickets for.
Could have been embarrassing.
Appalachian mountains, but this not even these not great. Like there's thorns and basically I forget how many. It's 100 miles, which is
which they said
nice.
was like more like 120.
It's more like a 120-mile race that you have to complete in 60 hours. Which when you do the math on it, it's like, wait a second, that's not that bad. The splits on that is going to be easy. Like you could walk that. Yes, you could, if it wasn't the most ridiculous thing ever, like with an incline. Completing this race is like going up and down Mount Everest twice. I mean, it's no wonder that only 10 people have actually ever finished the race. And the documentary kind of follows this group. Only 40 people are actually invited to this race every year. So a lot of people try to apply. If you figure out how to apply, 40 people go in. I think it's really fun. If you have any passion for running at all, Dwayne Jarrell, Laurel Hose, Eric Olson, Ryan Schollard, all my friends who are big avid runners, some of them ultra marathoners. I thought they might enjoy it. But if you have any passion for running, I think you should check it out. All right, your number one. I think this is where I thought we might line up. So I'm curious.
You want to guess it?
I'm going to guess The Visit.
No, it's not.
Oh my goodness, really? Okay, well, you go first.
I did Timer.
I just threw up in my beer a little bit.
I just, so
really?
The thing with Timer is,
so the movie that you forgot that we had, so we start the movie Timer. Carrie picks this movie Timer, and we're starting it, and I'm like, something seems familiar. And then I start calling out the things that will happen, which isn't unusual because I'm a good guesser for this. But then like about
I was like,
30,
stop it,
30
stop
minutes
saying.
in, we realize we've seen this movie.
But the good thing was I didn't remember how it ended.
Oh gosh.
So
oh man, not a good movie. All right, go ahead.
What year do you think we actually watched that?
I don't know when it was. It was. I can't remember that.
I don't even remember.
No, I don't remember. But I know that we had seen it and it was not memorable the first time. You're going to forget about the movie after
I remember
the
every
podcast.
detail now.
Oh,
yeah, every single detail.
Walk us through Timer.
It is. So again, I'm not saying it's awesome and wonderful and the best movie ever. It's like a 3.2.
You put this over your sister's sister. Is it all the 8 movies you've seen? You put this over that?
I mean, when you say it like that, it makes it difficult. No, I didn't put it over anything. No, here's the thing.
There could be a person
I didn't
who
put it
listens
over
to this
anything. That's why I was
and
very
goes out to see this.
I was very explicit at the very beginning of this, where I said everything was sort of even to me this week.
Oh, this is not. This is well below even.
I think the concept
you
is
will
unique
feel good.
And
Someone
interesting.
listens. Oh, Carrie recommended. This is why Team Rob is just going to grow and grow and grow.
Barkley's Marathon.
Barkley's
Everyone
Marathon.
check that out.
I clarified that too.
Know.
If you are an avid runner, Kelly Barnes might enjoy this movie.
All right,
Cooking.
We'll just
Kelly.
keep,
Kelly.
we'll keep posted on this. Yeah. So Timer is starring Emma Caulfield. I don't think she's been in anything anyone knows. She was in Darkness Falls. Have you ever seen that?
Actually, I have seen Darkness Falls. Good? That was a terrible movie. It was about a horror movie.
Not
about
as good as Timer. Okay, so who?
Actually, might have been better. I don't know.
Oh,
Timer was terrible.
So anywho, John Patrick Amadori, who plays the cashier.
You're not. What's the plot? Walk people. The plot's actually not bad.
This is what I'm getting to. The thing that I can sometimes appreciate and why I put this here is something that's completely original and it's not something that I've seen before. So in this movie, it starts off and there's this girl who's just kind of on this constant search for the love of her life, and this is set in sometime clearly in the future, but you can get this little wristlet thing that plugs in and it basically says, it gives you the countdown until you'll meet your true love. I don't think it's
a future. It's a parallel universe where they've invented this thing, because even the parents had it. And they're like in modern. They're in regular clothes.
That's true. And
they have an outfit. Like, how old is your timer? Like,
right.
They had the timer.
So old. Yeah. So I like things also. So just to go back, I like things also that cause conversation or cause for conversation, which obviously this had a lot for us, because then we were like, well, you plug this thing in.
I know why you're saying, why this is why you have this on your list.
Just get through the movie here. So they puts a little clock on, and if there's somebody else who also has had the timer installed, that's your perfect match, your soulmate, the one person that you're supposed to meet in your life, it like dings on. It'll say, in 347 days and X minutes and whatever seconds, you'll meet this person. And so if you have this thing put in and it's like zeroed out, it means either one of two things: this person doesn't exist, or that person hasn't had this timer thing installed yet. So the main character in this, she is kind of like a serial dater, and she goes in and you see her in the beginning of the movie, and her timer is not turned on yet. So she's basically, every time she dates somebody, she either checks to see what their timer is and or takes them to get the timer installed.
She's a serial dater of non-timers. People who don't have it installed. Because
right.
The logic there is that she's gonna bump into her soulmate and then like go get it installed and then have it confirmed that yes, in fact, this is
my soulmate or whatever. Which is a little bit, it's a little weird. So
a little cray.
But I could see you doing it. But anyway, so I just liked the idea that it was something totally original. It was a 6.6 on IMDb. Again, didn't think it was like the best movie of all time.
She's an uptight person. Yeah, she wants control. She's a control freak.
You know, the other guy in there is Desmond Harrington.
Yeah, from
Dexter.
From Dexter, yeah. So the main character is a control freak, wants control over her life. She feels like she's become so dependent on this timer, and having it be blank bothers her to no end. So finally, she's like, "Forget it. I'm going hook up with this cashier guy who's
like 5
10 years younger." Yeah, and.
He's not really 5.
Yeah, and then it has some moments. Philosophically, I like the idea. The interesting thing is when we were talking about this, like, I would not get one. Like, so here's the thing, and this is the thing. So let's say they invent this tomorrow. They have this thing.
Right.
We're going out to get these timers.
Yeah.
Because in the movie too, the father of the main character or the mother and the father of the main character, they split once they found out that they weren't soulmates.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah. They split. It was like, oh, she always was unhappy, and then when we got the wristbands,
they confirmed
it confirmed everything she ever felt, and then they split.
But what if you knew that though?
So
like that's the thing. What if you knew?
But see, that's what
somebody
I don't like.
out there was
I am
like
not
perfect.
I do not like the whole you are destined for something. I'm a create your own destiny kind of person.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying like I would not go get it because hey, I don't need it.
So you don't think I would match?
Don't need it. No, I'm just saying I don't need to know that. I wouldn't need to know. That's all.
But what if
I wouldn't there
was somebody less irritating than me out there?
Wouldn't have to know about it. No. Probably. I mean, that I don't need confirmation of. I know unequivocally that has been confirmed. No.
How is that confirmed?
No, but I would not want to get one.
I mean, I would definitely get it.
You would get it, and I'm not your soulmate. Now what? What's the next step?
I mean, here's what I would do.
You would be left wondering. You'd be left wondering.
I would be left with anything.
No wonder why you've been like up at night, like thinking about this.
Been on some sites. No, I mean, I'd get it, and I mean, it's not like I'm going to run out the door or anything. But I mean, it'd be good to know.
It'd be good. So you would just know.
So like when I pass somebody,
you would not let it go.
Hy-Vee,
you would wonder. You would be left wondering, and that would create.
No, I wouldn't be left wondering. I'd be like, hey,
self-fulfilling.
In 300 days at Hy-Vee, I'm going to run into,
I think it becomes self-fulfilling, and then you would set up a relationship for failure. That's the reason I personally would not get one of those things. But to each their own. See, I guess if it sparks conversation, I guess it's a good.
We'd always be friends,
to watch. Well, that's nice. That's endearing. My number one movie was The Visit, which we saw with Lo as well too. Rented it on Netflix. 2015 movie, hour 34 minutes. IMDb gives it a 6.2, 64% on Rotten Tomatoes. So not great scores, but this is written and directed.
What was it on IMDb again?
IMDb 6.2.
Oh, 6.2.
And Rotten Tomatoes 64%. This is The Visit, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, which I would say this is his coming back party. I think he's kind of fallen out of favor. His last 3-4 movies, I would even say. You had After Earth. You had, I wrote these down. What were the other ones? Oh, Last Airbender. Even some Lady in the Water, that kind of stuff. Kind of misses from Shyamalan.
What would you say is the last
budgets.
movie that he did that was really good before this?
People would probably harken back to, Signs. I liked Signs. It didn't do particularly well too. I liked Signs. I liked The Village. I like Unbreakable. I know Tim Barnes also echoed my statement saying, Shyamalan's back. Not as sneaky, but gets some redemption after his recent movies. Tim liked Sixth Sense and Unbreakable as well. So good to be back to form. Connie Wozniak found this movie super creepy.
It was creepy.
So it's basically it's creepy in the Shyamalan way where there isn't too much that's shown that's creepy. He does it just with tension, and that's just he's just always been so good at that. It's two siblings go to visit their estranged grandparents. They've never met their grandparents because their mom has had a falling out with them. So to give her a little bit of space, she's going on a cruise. She sends her kids to meet these grandparents, puts them on a train. It's like a 13-year-old and a 8-year-old, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe 15-year-old.
I don't know.
Gosh, I'd hope it would be older because it's just weird that she sent them on a train.
Old enough.
Yeah, that was. So we'll get into that too because that's the problem I had. The only problem I had with it. But so they go out there, visit their grandparents who live in a farm in Pennsylvania, in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. And creepy stuff starts building and building and building. And like most kind of these type of movies, I would have been out immediately. Like, there's
Where
no
would you
way.
have gone?
I would have picked up. I would have Skyped my mom, which they do immediately.
Your mom wouldn't have picked up. She would have been like, I'm on a cruise.
Yeah, partying.
Open bar.
This was a $5 million budget movie, and it's a found footage type of style movie, so a lot of camera movements, which is, your friend Connie Wozniak had the problem with it too, is like it made her feel motion sickness just like watching it. Because
I didn't get that in this one.
You didn't get the jitteriness?
No.
I don't know. Like it didn't bother me too much, but definitely I'm kind of done with, I'm a little over found footage movies at this point, but $5 million budget, it grossed $65 million. So he made tons of money compared to what was invested in it. Still hasn't made back all the money he's lost with like Lost Airbender and After Earth, but it shows that, maybe smaller film projects might be better suited
He was
for
Sixth
him.
Sense too, right?
Yeah, Sixth Sense.
This is not even close.
No, it's not.
Like
but
that, yeah.
I mean, if you would have seen After Earth and Last Airbender,
I would have felt better. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why they weren't. Maybe they are on box office movie bombs lists of.
I thought Last Airbender was.
They spent $100 million or something like on each of those films, and they bombed gloriously.
Yeah, this one for me just had, and you and I even talked about it. Just a lot of plot holes. And for me, it was kind of like
plot holes.
This was one of those movies where you could have actually made this a really good, clear, plot hole-less movie, and I feel like there were easy changes that you could have made that it would have made it better.
I think so too. One other thing that bothered me is he's done cameos in every single one of his movies. So
he wasn't in this, was he?
he didn't, and that kind of bothered me. That was his little wink and nod that he would always be in his movies, and kind of bummed me out that he wasn't in it.
No, he was not. Maybe it was the grandma.
So the grandma was the best part of the movie. Actually, the grandparents were. The kids were okay, but they were too smart. There aren't kids that smart.
Right.
I mean, maybe there are, but that bothered me. Like, it took me out of the movie because I was like, what kids?
You're above your age. Although you didn't really know their age.
Above their age, they're above me. Like, they're.
Well, that's
not a huge benchmark, but that's that part bothered me, is they were too smart, too clever, and yet they're so clever that they don't realize to get something could be off here.
Get the poopy diaper out of your face.
I think once it gets on, do you send away for it? And if I'd say wait till it comes for free on Netflix.
But watch it like in a dark room.
Yeah, it was tense. It creeped.
It was definitely
myself
creeped
and you
out. I had
all
a jump
jumped,
or two. Yeah.
multiple jumps in there.
That's what he does is jumpy.
But like there were also some like balanced with like some laughter. Like I couldn't help but laughing at some of the absurdity of not an absurd. I don't know. Just like so creepy. I was like funny. Like I don't know. Like so odd.
Yeah.
Odd behavior.
What would you rank it though?
3-ish, 3.2.
And this was your number one.
Yeah, I don't know. I just something I haven't seen. Yeah, it was. I didn't see a lot of. I mean, so the other movie. So I want to jump into movies in theaters. I saw 10 Cloverfield Lane. Now that was that was a great movie. I would say pay money to go see 10 Cloverfield Lane. You don't need to see it on the big screen in the sense where you're not getting anything visually from it. Like, it's not a cinematic movie where there's a lot going on visually.
Right.
I call it like. It's a little bit like Room, which you also haven't seen, which you need to see.
I'm going to see that,
But 10 Cloverfield Lane, hour 43 minutes, just came out. It's 90% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. First-time directorial debut as well for Dan Trachtenberg. Could have made my top 5 list because I really liked it, but I kind of excluded new movies. It was co-written by Damien Chazelle, who did Whiplash. This would have been Damien's one of his first movies, but then he went to go work on Whiplash instead, which I'm glad he did. But nonetheless, 10 Cloverfield Lane was great. After getting in a car accident, a woman is held in like a bomb shelter. That's kind of where the movie takes place. It's kind of like this bomb shelter, and it's kind of dealing with. You would like it because it's a little potentially post-apocalyptic.
Oh, I do like that.
Deals with. It's a small movie too, small budget. I think it cost $15 million to make, grossed $45 million, and people have been asking like, is this Cloverfield? Is going to be action-packed like Cloverfield found footage? It is not found footage. It is related to Cloverfield, but same universe, but different story completely.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Cloverfield, alien kind of takes New York, or some sort of being takes New York.
You mean another movie?
Cloverfield, which you said you saw.
Oh, is that where they're like an alien takes over someone's body?
No.
at a gym in a high school?
No, that's The Faculty from like 1999 or 2001.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. I've never seen Cloverfield.
If you do go check it out, there's a voice cameo by Bradley Cooper. Plays the fiance or fiance of the main character. So see if you can pick out Bradley Cooper's voice. Honorable mentions for me: we saw Beltraki. It's a documentary about an art forger. Not very good. Before we go, I said Project Almanac. I saw that by myself. It's a found footage movie about a time machine, which has the makings to interest me, but I passed on. We both passed on Straight Outta Compton, which was
like that movie.
Leif Erikson, my neighbor's top 5 movie.
It was okay, and
2015.
I fell asleep.
I enjoyed learning about the history of that
I wasn't
rap
really
culture,
into gangster rap though.
No,
I wish I
really?
was. Yeah.
Boy,
you were into gangster rap?
Well, you're always quoting Snoop Dogg and Coolio and all that.
I only have like 3 lines and I just use them over and over again.
Fantastic Voyage. You've got that spinning upstairs. Abby sings along to it all the time. Spinning. I thought it was Straight Outta Compton's cool because it gave me a much more appreciation of Ice Cube and
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. Those guys are amazing talents, and I had no idea. I had no clue. We saw Aladdin. Which we were nervous about. I actually back to our conversation about movies we should or shouldn't show.
It was with our kids. We didn't watch it alone.
We didn't watch it alone. Joy V. Hill mentioned that she just actually bought a new copy to replace her worn out VHS. It's her favorite Disney movie from her childhood. And Andrew Jones just wrote in saying they're going to make a potentially live action version of this. Disney's
Seems
doing
strange,
that, and it worked, I guess, with Cinderella. I'm nervous they've got Little Mermaid up next too, live action Beauty and the Beast as well. I kind of like just stick with, I don't know. Maybe I'm
Little Mermaid
I'm
though.
old.
That's one of my faves.
We saw Digging for Fire as well.
That I
Jake
picked
Johnson.
Your Sister
Yeah.
over Digging for Fire.
I didn't. Yeah, that one didn't stand out to me as well too. Anything else that you saw or want to mention?
No.
All right, well, remember you can find more details about all the movies we've watched at our website, alternateendingpod.com. That's alternateendingpod.com. When we get back, top 5 directorial debuts. Catch you in a bit. And welcome back to Alternate Ending. We're going to be doing our top 5 directorial debuts. Carrie, what were your parameters for this? Actually, before we do that, you were doing this amazing feat. It probably won't replicate it now, but you were doing fart noises with your hands, and I want to see if that.
Don't put me on the spot.
Is that too much pressure now to do it? Let me see it. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's consistent.
That's amazing.
Thanks.
If only you could summon a real fart. Just as easily on command. It would be pretty amazing.
I can't.
You can't. Top 5 directorial debuts. I don't know. Top 5 directorial debuts. What were your parameters? How did you come across these? It's pretty straightforward. I try to make it very simple that you could not interpret this any other way than what I meant it to be. So how did you interpret top 5 directorial debuts?
So you weren't really clear on the definition of debut, and I'm hoping that I've gone by the same parameters that you did.
All right,
I was just like first director, first
movies.
time.
It's their first time directing for their first movie.
First movie ever.
What constitutes a movie in your book? Is it a TV?
Like a camera
TV movie? Is it a short movie, feature length?
Just like a movie?
Oh, a movie.
Yeah.
Getting technical.
Yeah.
I went feature length. It had to be their feature length debut. Couldn't have been a short.
I didn't have any shorts.
No shorts. No. Well, I mean, like, I wouldn't have if that's what showed up on the list. I wouldn't have counted that. I would have counted the next movie after that. That was their feature length.
Yeah, I did that. Sure.
What did you use to research it?
I mean, the interwebs.
The interwebs. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's out there. My mind.
I went to Wikipedia again, and seems like Wikipedia has everything I ever need. They have every single directorial debut since the 1800s. Every directorial debut.
That's nice for you, yeah.
I went fast through probably through the 1960s, and then I slowed down my pace through the 60s, 70s.
Yep.
And then I went really slow through 80s onward, and I read every single one. And I kind of got to a list of about 40.
Scientific.
Were you surprised how many directorial debuts that you were like, oh my gosh, oh, I like that movie. Oh, I like that movie. Because I had a list of about 50 by the time I needed to start narrowing it down to 5. So I was really surprised how many movies were that I really enjoyed were by first-time directors.
So I had maybe, when I did something much less scientific than what you did, I used more of like a dartboard method, but I got to like 25.
All right.
So 25, and then I actually got to 10, and then when I got to 10, I was like, now I'm really having trouble.
And are you picking your favorite movies?
Yeah.
Of that?
I am.
Okay.
And so here's the thing. Here's where you're going to judge me, and here's where I have my little piece of paper where it's written out, because I had...
Oh, no. I see. I can't see the titles, but I see multiple names
Don't look.
listed
There's so
under
many.
numbers.
There's like scratch. I know. There's numbers. There's a coding system with lines and circles and stars. And there's ones where I know they're probably a better movie that I had on my 10, 12 list.
These are your favorite.
But they're mine. So I had, and then at the end of the day, when I had to
get
get to 5, I was like, you know what? I don't even care if you judge me.
No, there's no. Yeah, I don't want you to start.
So I was like,
forcing
I
movies.
just picked the ones that I was like, I daydream about these movies.
Yeah, because here, let me give you an example too. If I was a movie snob, right? This is what I would say. I'd be like, Citizen Kane, number 1.
That wasn't on there, was it?
Yeah, first-time director Orson Welles, which is pretty incredible. I do like Citizen Kane. Again, ties back to my film school days. It stood out to me. That's amazing to put out Citizen Kane your first time.
I haven't seen that one, have I?
No, you have not.
Okay, good.
Maybe you will see it soon. I don't know.
I'd watch it. But that was my thing. So I was like,
I didn't
you know
do
what?
snobbery.
I got to 10. So if you
favorite.
actually bring up one of mine though that was in the 10, I'm gonna call it out because I really did like all of these 10 movies, but I finally had to get to the ones where I was like, these ones really resonated with me at the time.
You will not agree with 3 out of my 5, I believe.
You will agree with maybe like one of mine, but I would say like 4 of my top 10.
What I'm most excited about, I'll be honest, I have the list. I also included some honorable mentions on here that I think you should have had. So this will be a good test for your homework, because if I mention a couple of these, you'll be like, uh-oh, I didn't do my homework.
I did my homework.
All right, well, we'll see.
Spent at least 14 minutes on this.
We've been scrambling. We're heading out to Mississippi for spring break, so it's been a scramble to the end. So let's go ahead. Start off with your number 5.
My number 5 is the movie Now and Then.
Okay, that's probably one of the ones that you wouldn't say would be on the
I knew
list.
exactly.
It's a cute
and that's
movie.
the
It's
face.
cute.
That's the face.
I saw it. All right.
Written by L. Marlene King, directed by Leslie Linka Glatter. She went on to do actually more in TV afterwards, so she didn't do a lot of other movies, but she did.
Really, after the success of
Homeland.
Now and Then?
She did Homeland
She
and
directed
Newsroom.
like an episode of those?
No, like 13 episodes. Yeah.
She did not. All right. Someone can fact check that. She has not directed 13 episodes of each of those shows.
Of things. And within that movie,
I know.
every girl in my era, 1995, how old was I? Like 12. It's like, wait, how old was I? Yeah, 12. Loved that movie.
Yeah.
Like, everybody wanted to marry the guy that got less cute. What's his name?
Devon Sawa.
Devon Sawa. Everyone wanted to marry him. Everyone wanted to be Christina Ricci at that moment. Yeah, just like one of those movies that goes back to my list of movies I could watch a million times and never get sick of it. It takes you back to the like catching lightning bugs out in the yard kind of like feeling, like mindless, careless times in your life. So there's 4 12-year-old girls who grow up together. And it's back in the days of like riding your bikes in the neighborhood, selling lemonade, like adventures, like not in front of the TV, not in front of anything else other than having a good time and outside. And it was Demi Moore was in it, Rosie O'Donnell, Melanie Griffith. It had this huge cast, and it transferred back and forth between childhood to adulthood and like where it took them, and it was such a good movie.
You know what's funny? You might be as old as they.
No, they're 36 now. I checked.
Oh, so in the then, or right now, in the now part of the Now and Then, they are 36 in the movie when they come back for the reunion?
I don't know. I feel bad about myself.
This would be interesting to see, because you loved it when you were 12, which is the age of the girls that they're portraying in the movie originally, and you fell in love with it.
This is very.
Now
Are you
you're the
psychoanalyzing me right now?
No, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
this could hit you. You should see this again.
I'm
probably.
going to.
Yeah.
What do you mean see it again? I watch it like every
and
year.
here's who you could have married, Devin
Oh.
Sawa. How's he doing?
Wow.
How's he doing for you? Better than the guy with
Take
the
it
glasses.
away. Take it away.
Pull it away from
Pull it
your
away
eyesight?
from my eyes.
All right.
It was my number 5.
That's cool.
You know what? And again, I knew this was going to happen, and
No,
you were
no,
going to judge me.
there's no judgment.
I have others that are on my backup, but at the end of the day,
I
this
feel
is
like now
one-
and then for your age group
loved it.
must have been something.
It was good.
But like I'm saying, I also do you think that the 30-year-olds in 1990 whatever 5 who saw that movie, the 30-year-old women who saw that movie were like, oh yeah, that's my child. So that's what I'm saying. It's like for you, it's going to hit you twice because you were 12 and now
Right.
you're in your 30s. Do you feel like the 30-year-old seeing that for the first time in 1995 would have liked it too? Because I feel like it would have taken you back maybe to your childhood.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's not your childhood. I mean, it's based in the 70s.
Yeah, it's the
right?
70s,
Like 70s or something like that. So, no, interesting. Good pick.
What was your number 5?
You're gonna love it. Gattica on your list.
Oh no, but
Yeah.
I did like that. I did a
1997, written and directed. Got to give this guy credit because he just rocked it right out of the gate. Andrew Nicole, hour 46. IMDb gives it 7.8. Rotten Tomatoes 82%. Again, this is Gattica. If you have not seen Gattica,
See it.
go see Gattica. Andrew Nicole has since done Simone. Not as great of a movie.
Simone
but
wasn't bad though.
I liked Simone. Most
that was
people
the
don't.
AI thing, right?
Another AI kind of ish,
Artificial intelligence, yeah.
artificial intelligence movie with Al Pacino. He's a great writer too. So he wrote Truman Show, which I love. He wrote and directed Lord of War with Nicolas Cage. I love that movie. He wrote Terminal. He did In Time with Justin Timberlake. So he does a lot of futuristic
In Time
movies.
was good too.
I've seen everything he's done except for Good Kill with Ethan Hawke. Again, he partners with him, and he wrote and directed that. I need to go back and see Good Kill because I love this director. But Gattica was so good. It stars Ethan Hawke, Uma Thurman, Jude Law. A genetically inferior man assumes the identity of a superior one in order to pursue his lifelong dream of space travel. So this is the
That's
future.
That's not like a clear, yeah.
It's not a good synopsis. It's the near future, and now you have a choice as a parent, a future parent. You're pregnant. You can genetically make your
Like
child
predestination.
perfect.
Yeah.
Like you can remove any
No diabetes.
no glasses,
no illness.
no illnesses.
You would be perfect figure. You could have like perfect nose. Like I'm looking at your face right now. Like perfect glasses.
Yep. And
like hair, like everything. Like no illness. Like why as a parent would you choose not to do that?
It really follows this main character, he played by Ethan Hawke, whose parents he was born before this genetic transformation,
happened,
and now it's almost like you're a second-class citizen. His younger brother, was given all of these attributes, and he has I think Ethan Hawke has like a heart defect, heart issues. He's nearsighted. He has myopia. He has all these issues, but yet despite these, he has big dreams. And it follows that he starts as a janitor, and he wants this opportunity. He thinks he can be more than what he's been predestined to be, and he gets a hold of this guy who was genetically engineered and who's probably scores off the charts on this genetic testing, but he's in a wheelchair. He was in a terrible accident, played by Jude Law, which is the first time I really noticed Jude Law too. In 1997.
First time?
1997 is one of his first movies.
Oh, was that before The Talented Mr. Ripley?
Yeah, I think it was. Might have been. Might around the same time. You can look it up. But so yeah, Jude Law can't do anything. He needs money. He needs a way to survive. So he basically gives Ethan Hawke's character his identity in order to take it on, so he can join the space program. And it kind of just develops from there. But
so good.
Yeah, it's so good. This is where it didn't win anything. It was nominated for Best Art Direction, Set Decoration. Cost $36 million, only made $12 million, was not appreciated at the time. Uma Thurman, Ethan Hawke, this is where they became a couple. You'll find this interesting, Carrie.
They're not married now, are they?
No, they divorced. But you'll find this interesting. When Gattica was first released, they did this marketing campaign where they advertised that, hey, call up and you can get children genetically engineered. It was just kind of like a viral campaign. Their phones they had thousands of people call in to get this genetic enhancement for their future born kids to alter it. So there's
Don't
obviously
pretend like you wouldn't
a market
do that.
for it. So seriously, if
seriously, yeah.
If you could,
if you knew that they weren't going to have illness,
it would be tough as a parent to not
to
want
choose
that.
not to. Yeah,
I forget what they call them in the movie.
I don't care about eyes or hair or whatever, but like if you knew like you had something that ran in your family and you knew that they would be free of that burden, like a lot of people would do that.
So it's a really interesting concept. The title Gattica itself,
you're right about it being before The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Okay, so this is close to
by 2 years.
coming out party.
Was Talented Mr.
This was
Ripley.
his coming out party for in the U.S. at least. He might have done some stuff in England or the U.K. But so Gattica, the title is the reasons, the letters. It's all made up of letters based on the 4 nucleic acids. It was voted the most accurate sci-fi film ever made by scientists at NASA. Jude Law's character's named Eugene. And I like these touches. As a writer, if you're doing these touches, these little Easter eggs, I love it. So Eugene is like Latin or something for born well, which Jude Law's character was, born enhanced or, born perfectly. So eugenics, all that stuff. Uma Thurman's character is named Irene Cassini, after the astronomer who discovered Saturn's rings. It's just really nice touches.
Yeah, see it.
Go see Gattica. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is 10 Things I Hate About You.
Boy, you're going a different route. These are Carrie movies. These are Carrie picks, so I love them. Good movies.
Not on yours. Not on your honorable mentions.
No.
Oh, come on.
It's a first time director?
Yeah.
Okay. Who was it?
It was
what's it about? I know
Gil,
what it's about.
You do? Oh.
Of course I know what it's about.
No, I thought you meant you knew the director.
No, I don't.
Gil Junger, who I was also going to say is a one-hit wonder, but didn't do much in the way of movies after this. But you cannot argue with me that this was not a good movie. It was starring Heath Ledger, Julia Stiles, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who I know is like one of your favorites.
He is.
1999, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays a character who comes new kid in school kind of thing, and then he falls for like the popular girl in school, who's played by Kirsten Dunst, and
no, not Kirsten Dunst.
Wait.
Julia Stiles. What are you doing?
No, Kirsten Dunst.
No, Julia Stiles.
No.
Wait, 10 Things I Hate About You?
Yeah, he falls for Kirsten Dunst.
No.
Julia Stiles is the one that Heath Ledger has to go
Kirsten
after.
Dunst is not in 10 Things I Hate About
Who's
You.
the one? Not Kirsten. Who's the one that
Not Kirsten Dunst.
Who's the one from?
I know, but not Kirsten Dunst.
What's her name?
Are you sure he didn't direct the TV show version of 10 Things I Hate About You?
Yeah, I don't know. So
keep talking. I'll find it.
So
It's Ally Mack, whoever played Mack in Ally Mack or whatever her name was from Nickelodeon. It's not Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it's not Kirsten Dunst.
You're totally right. Yeah. I made that up. But that girl, who is it? Tell me.
Her name is Larissa Olenek.
Oh, you're totally
She's from,
right.
Ally Mack or whatever.
Yes, The Secret Life of Ally Mack.
Something like that. Yeah.
You're totally right. So, all right, that brings you.
But good news, Gil Younger did direct it, so that's good.
I knew that. And you know what? I threw in her name, trying to be really like on the fly there, and it didn't work out for me.
It's a good movie. It's cute.
So
it's a
good.
Great high school movie. It's a good
top high school. I know, top high school movie. So it's one of the ones where if he can date her. Julia Stiles, who plays the older sister, has to be able to date first, and so he like solicits Heath Ledger to go out and
Tame the Shrew.
It's from Taming the Shrew. It's based on Taming of the Shrew, which is a play. So yeah, I loved that movie growing up. I watched it a million times. Good, and again, good high school movie. Probably one of my more favorite high school movies, and didn't realize that it was a directorial debut.
This is we're going down different paths here. You're going more lighthearted. You're going dark.
Hoosiers.
No, Hoosiers is a directorial debut. Very impressive.
Is it on your list?
It's not on my list.
Oh.
No. It's just not one of my favorite movies. I think it's a great movie.
You're going Ex Machina.
I'm not going to say. American History X is where I go next with number 4. Hour 59 minutes. IMDb 8.6, which is good enough for 33rd on the list. Rotten Tomatoes 83%. again, if you haven't seen American History X and you can stomach a little bit of, white supremacy violence, good movie to go see. Directed by Tony Kaye, starring Edward Norton and Edward Furlong. Furlong, if you don't remember, is the kid from Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The synopsis: former neo-Nazi skinhead tries to prevent his younger brother from going down the same path that he did. Edward Norton was nominated for Best Actor. Such a good movie. I can't even... Have you seen it?
Too hard to watch.
It was too hard to watch for you?
The mouth scene on the curb.
Yeah, that was good.
Can't watch it.
It was intense. It was so intense. And it's black and white for chunks of... is it all of it? I think it's all of it, right? Black and white? So good. Just part of it. Sorry, just part of it. The big story with this movie, directorial debut, is kind of alluding to what happened with your directors, is since then, Tony Kaye has been blacklisted from movie making.
You keep using black, in this whole scenario about talking about this movie. It's like a racial movie.
I said white supremacy.
It's black and white.
I said black and white. I don't know what you're talking about. You have some guilt issues here. No. He's been blacklisted from Hollywood. He got into this huge... Edward Norton ended up having final cut. Edward Norton wasn't happy with the director's cut of the movie. So he ended up kind of recutting the movie, which really upset Tony Kaye. Tony Kaye actually brought in a rabbi, a priest, and a monk to resolve the issue, and then ended up suing the Directors Guild Association and wanted his name taken off the movie, which was silly for him to do because the movie was a critic hit. So I don't know how much of a role this director had in his own directorial debut, because it seems like Edward Norton kind of had a lot of back to it, but it was made for $7.5 million, grossed $6.5 million.
I saw it in high school.
The F word is used 214 times.
It was really hard to watch, but I'm sure good to watch.
Edward Norton turned down the role of the lead character that Matt Damon plays in Saving Private Ryan for this role. Edward Norton's so amazing in it. Interesting thing I did not know, 88 is the number 88 is used a lot in the movie. Like people wearing, the white supremacy guys are wearing 88, and I had no idea what it was for, but that's because the eighth letter of the alphabet is H, so it's HH, Hail Hitler or whatever.
I would never have gotten that. Yeah.
It also follows the 88 precepts or rules that all white supremacists live by. So
I would not.
That's
know
sad because
that,
it's one of 8's my favorite number.
You're gonna have to replace it.
I'm gonna have to change it. But no,
what are you gonna make it? Your new number?
88 miles per hour. Back to the Future. It's gonna be 88. I'm gonna be. People are gonna think with my glasses, I'm gonna be like some sort of white supremacist now. So people are getting the wrong impression.
Let's shy away from that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my number 4.
Also, I would agree. Also, a good movie.
Yeah, good movie.
Yeah.
Can't argue. All right, number 3.
My number 3 was The Sandlot.
You found the one that I thought you might miss. No, I had that on my list of ones that Carrie should have on her list. Do I have any others on there that I think you should have?
Is it on your list though?
It's on my ones that Carrie list. Ones that Carrie will probably have on her list.
So I think you've even mentioned this movie before in previous podcasts around what should be my favorite movies kind of thing, right?
Yeah, this one was I was surprised in your top movies of all time it didn't make it. You talk about it a lot.
And I know it's a good one. It's where Now and Then is for me, in one where it's I just could lose myself in the movie. I miss those childhood days of being able to just go outside and you just played all day until it got pretty dark, and then you came home on your own. No one called you, and you just came home for dinner. That's the genre of this movie. So 1993. Starring people that I don't really know. Is it Tom Geary and Mike Vitar? I think Mike Vitar was in the Mighty Ducks as well, but he was the great baseball player kid in the movie. I don't think he did much after that.
I don't think none of them did.
I think you peaked there a little bit, but a new kid in town comes in and joins the local baseball team, and it's just everything that ensues from that, childhood stresses. He steals his dad's baseball, and that was it. That was the stress of the summer was stealing his dad's baseball, and I loved that. Loved that was the biggest deal going on. And it was directed by David Evans, but he did do a couple other things. So he actually did Ace Ventura.
Oh.
Pet Detective, also funny movie. and the final season. I mean, not a ton of stuff, but a couple other big things. And that got a 7.8 on IMDb and makes my number 3.
Nice. Number 3 for me, you mentioned Donnie Darko. First-time director Richard Kelly crafted that movie, written and directed in 2001, hour 42 minutes, 8.1, which is good enough for number 205 on IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes gives it 85%, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Jenna Malone, Mary McDonnell, Patrick Swayze, Drew Barrymore. Donnie Darko, 2001.
Would I like this movie?
You haven't seen it?
No.
I'm getting so many rec ideas. No, you would not like this movie.
Don't wreck it to me, then.
Troubled teenager is played by visions of a large bunny rabbit that manipulates him to commit a series of crimes after narrow. I mean, the synopsis on IMDb, there's no way to explain this movie without maybe giving something away, but it's a philosophical movie.
Parallel it to something else.
I can't. There isn't a movie I can really tie it to. Okay. I can't say it without giving anything away to the plot. And you'll even be like, well, that was stupid. I think that's how you would say. I think that's
the movie
my guess.
I would say that was stupid.
You were like, well, that was stupid. I don't get it. Like, that's what you would say.
And so what was so great about it to you?
Because philosophically for me, it aligns with, I like aspects of it. There's some elements in there that really resonate with me, as well as the ultimate thing that the character has to kind of go through. It was a surprise, a twist. Everything kind of made sense, even though it didn't make sense. So this is one of those ones that really just got me at the right time. It was 2001, so I was kind of more philosophical.
It's your now and then.
No, it's not my now. It is not my now and then. Nothing to do. I don't want it to even to speak of the two in the same sentence ever again. It kind of hurt a little bit to hear it in the same sentence. It really suffered based on its release date, right around the time of 9/11, 2001. So it was made for $4.5 million, which was not a whole lot, but only grossed $702,000, but picked up a huge audience in rentals.
Whatever happened to that? I remember, like, in your bathroom when I first met you, you had like a picture of Donnie Darko in your bathroom.
I did?
You did.
I don't know what you're talking about. You might be confusing me with another guy or something, because I don't remember having a picture of Donnie Darko in my bathroom.
It was like a movie poster from Donnie Darko in your bathroom.
Maybe. I don't remember having it in my bathroom.
It was there.
Really odd place.
It was like above the stool.
I don't know.
You don't remember this?
No, I don't. Great movie. If you're into philosophical movies that
hang it up again.
That are a little tougher to follow because of their kind of like obscure things, like you don't really know what's happening. Yeah, there's a giant bunny and there's this kind of awkward Jake Gyllenhaal character. Jake Gyllenhaal said I think it's his favorite character that he's ever played. Okay. Seth Rogen, who this is his first
he was
debut,
in that?
a very small, very tiny role, is in it. But Jake and him both said after they finished at the wrap party, they were like, I don't really know what we just made. Like they had no idea.
Was it like a furry movie?
A furry movie? No.
So there was a bunny?
There's no. Don't desecrate this movie. This is an amazing movie.
I have like a visual now.
I feel like I have to leave the room. Go to number 2. What's number 2 for you?
Number 2. It might be on your list, I think. National Lampoon's at Christmas Vacation.
No, these are not on my list.
No?
No.
1989?
No.
Chevy Chase?
No.
No?
No, I know
Beverly
the movie.
D'Angelo? So the turkey scene, like none of this is there? No?
I mean, it's a fine movie. It's good.
You liked it?
No, I liked it, yeah.
So, directed by...
all the Lampoons.
Everyone does. Except for European. That was weird.
Yeah, not as strong.
European was weird.
Yeah.
So directed by Jeremiah Chechik, and he also did a lot of TV stuff and also did The Right Kind of Wrong, which you and I saw, and also did The Avengers circa 1998.
Like a cartoon Avengers?
No, it was a real movie.
I don't remember. The one with Ralph Fiennes?
Could be.
And Uma Thurman?
It could be. So
I think there's a trend forming with your directors. Like, where for the movies you made, they haven't made anything since that's of any worth.
So anyway, Beverly D'Angelo, Juliette Lewis, and Johnny Galecki. The Griswold family plans for big family Christmas based on, like, the Christmas bonus that Chevy Chase is going to receive. And then when it actually doesn't come, it's what ensues from that. Like, just a classic movie. Like, I could watch that every single Christmas. Like, it's one of those that you expect to come on. Like, it's right up there with, like, Claymation Christmas. movies as
I don't
well
know
as.
what that is.
You-
My
what do
family
you mean?
didn't celebrate Christmas.
You mean because you were like Polish Catholic?
Well, like we just didn't have like American tradition. So
What?
if you're saying that that's like a thing,
You didn't see claymation, like where it was like
all right, please.
the Mr. Freeze comes in with like the clay people and Santa.
Can someone validate like what Carrie's saying is a true American tradition? Because I'm not familiar with this and it just doesn't seem.
You're gonna get
seem
like
accurate.
thousands.
I
of
know
responses.
claymation, like Rudolph and Snowman.
There's
is
more to it than
Frosty.
that. And like, yeah, Mr. Snow,
Freeze?
Mr. Snow, and
What are
and
you
then the
saying
red.
right now?
So
We gotta
anyway,
get you off the boda.
it's right there alongside that. But I could watch this every year when it comes along.
You know what I could watch every year? My number 2, Ex Machina. So yes, you called me out. Ex Machina, first time director, not first time writer, but first time director Alex Garland put together this masterpiece. I almost didn't include it because it was too new and I felt like I maybe needed some time for it to settle, but no. He put together an amazing movie for his first time out. 7.7 on IMDb, 92% Rotten Tomatoes. He's also written The Beach, 28 Days Later, Sunshine, and he's got a movie that he's directing and written called Annihilation, which I'm excited to see. Starring Alicia Vikander, who just picked up the Best Supporting Actress Oscar, Domhnall Gleeson, which I'm loving everything he's in lately, and Oscar Isaac, same thing. Basically, young programmer selected to participate in groundbreaking experiment in synthetic intelligence. Yeah, he's brought on by his boss, the CEO of a company. He thinks he's won this prize to go out and kind of test to see if this artificial intelligence that his boss has been creating in secret in the middle of nowhere, Iceland or something like that, is the real deal. And it's a very cerebral movie. Deals with artificial intelligence, which I love. Made for $15 million, grossed $25 million. If you haven't seen this, definitely make an effort to see it. I love all the references, as any great writer does. He has, again, I mentioned Easter eggs. Just with the holiday coming up, I'll keep saying Easter eggs. But Ex Machina, the title actually means from machine. A lot of biblical names in there, so a lot of references to biblical things, a lot of nods there. A lot of references to Oppenheimer and Hiroshima atomic bomb. Just really interesting stuff.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Worth
So
seeing.
that was my number 2. I bet we're going to line up on my number 1.
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
What does it start with? What's the first letter?
Can I see the first word? The.
It's not mine.
Really?
No.
This is so surprising.
Really?
You're wrong then. If for your own self, you're gonna.
Mine starts with the word dances.
What? Kevin Costner?
Come on.
All right, go for it.
Dances with Wolves. You didn't put that in there anywhere? Was it in the honorable
I've seen
mentions?
it one time, and it's just.
I saw it so many
maybe
times.
too young because I didn't do anything.
You should
for
watch
me.
it again.
It was so long.
Such a good movie, though. 1990. And actually, it was directed by Kevin Costner, like you said.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He was starred and directed it.
I'm not just a pretty face. I actually know some things about movies.
Yeah, I can see that from your Neared. But yeah, so how old were you when you saw
You've
this?
never mentioned this movie to me, so this is just
I know,
surprising.
but so when I was looking at the list,
I can look at on my list of honorable mentions. I can pick like 5 other movies that I think you'd pick over this. But
Only You.
no, I saw that was a first time director.
So here's
too,
the
but
thing about Only You. I can't believe you didn't pick that.
Why? Only
Because
You?
that was our first movie we ever
That's
saw
not the reason
together.
I'm going to pick something.
Well, that's kind of
Sentimentality.
harsh.
Psh.
That's kind of harsh. I thought you would pick it.
The last one I picked. Go talk about Dances with Wolves
I don't
for
want
people
to.
who haven't seen it.
No, I can't believe you didn't pick Only You.
Just people
I'm gonna
sitting around
focus on
fire.
that.
People sitting around fire talking.
No, but like so many other movies have actually like spawned off of that movie too. So it's where Kevin Costner plays like a lieutenant in the army, and he gets exiled during the Civil War to an outpost where he's in like a remote area where he gets like closer to a lot of the people that are native to the land, on top of like just the native people of the land and the area. And so he becomes really close to the community and stuff like that. And it's how he connects with them, and then how that kind of like exiles him from like the military or whoever he's working with. I mean, it's an amazing movie. I don't think anyone can argue that.
Yeah, no,
and again, the fact that was a debut for him too, like for that to be your first movie, I think that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, no,
it's an 8.0 on IMDb, and so one funny thing I did note though when I was looking through this movie. So we had the conversation a couple weeks ago about like how like the racial like inequity or whatever in Hollywood, and the girl in this
Native
that he
American.
falls for, Mary McDonnell is supposed to play a Indian woman.
Yeah.
She plays Stands with a Fist, and she's like not even close. I mean, she's Irish.
As bad as Rooney Mara playing Tiger Lily in the recent Pan movie. Yeah.
Exactly. And you're like, what is this? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, we're looking at her character, I'm like,
I can't remember her face. I can't remember
you
that
would
movie
if
very
you
well.
saw her.
The movie just doesn't. I don't.
It's
I know.
such a
I know.
classic
Everybody
movie.
says
You
it's
should
a great
rewatch
movie,
it. Yeah,
but not as great as my number one, unfortunately.
Which is
I
what?
don't know how this isn't like. This would be like your. I thought it was going to be.
What was the first word again?
Anything?
Is it the? Give me the second word.
Shawshank. Does that help?
Nice. I need a third word.
Redemption. The Shawshank Redemption.
I need a fourth word.
1994's The Shawshank Redemption. 2 hours,
That was
22
a
minutes.
first?
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
That's what I'm telling you. Would this have been your number
It
one?
would have if I had seen that, yeah.
Oh man, how did you miss it? Yeah, Frank Darabont comes out swinging.
I missed it. Well, that
Comes
was like
out
one of my
swinging.
favorite movies of all
Oh my
time.
gosh.
Yeah.
I just can't not. It's the number one movie on IMDb. Gets a 91% Rotten Tomatoes. I saw it on there. I was like,
You have to pick
like
it.
Shawshank. At some point, we'll have to just disqualify it from future lists because it'll come up. I mean, any movie any movie that we find ourselves continually going to the well for, like we'll have to remove. But for right now, we're still fresh in our episodes. Only our 7th one, so happy to talk a little bit about The Shawshank. 2 hours, 22 minutes, 9.3 on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes 91, written by Stephen King, which Stephen and Frank have a good relationship. Frank Darabont has converted a lot of Stephen King's movies into screenplays, and this one Frank held on to himself. He says, no, I want to make this one, and I want to make it my way. A lot of people wanted his screenplay. Rob Reiner went after him and said, I think Kevin Costner would be perfect. So you said Kevin Costner. I think Kevin Costner should play Andy Dufresne. And
No, I thought it was good with, what's his face?
With Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. Everybody has seen this movie. 2 imprisoned men bond over a number of years, finding solace and eventual redemption through acts of common decency.
Yeah.
It's just really the story about these two guys.
We don't
more
even
than
need to
anything.
talk
Don't
about
need
it.
to talk
It's fine.
about it. It was nominated for 7 Oscars. Didn't win anything. Didn't win a single thing.
How is that even possible?
Not sure. Made for $25 million. Only made $28 million at the box office.
That was on my box office bombs. That was my number one. I was like, I just talked about this
for making $3 million. But
again, for being like one of the number one movies that people categorize.
It might hold the record for most money made in the rentals. Someone will have to check that out. But it made a ton of money in rentals. Number one rented movie of all time or something like that. So there's that opening scene where Morgan Freeman's like throwing the baseball where him and Andy, Red and Andy meet for the first time, and he's just throwing the baseball, and he's like, hey, I need a rock hammer and some stuff, and that whole scene took 9 hours, and Morgan Freeman had to throw the ball straight for like 9 hours straight. And he didn't complain a single time. But the next day he showed up on set. He was in a sling, so he just kind of kept it to himself. Like, did you ever wonder why he's called Red?
No.
In the Stephen King novella or short story, it was actually an old white Irish guy who played it, and they just kind of kept the name. So in the movie, he actually says something kind of paying homage to it. I forget what he said. I don't know, but it was meant to be Harrison Ford, Clint Eastwood, and Robert Redford were all considered for the part, but it went to Morgan Freeman. But it's kind of a little nod back, so that's why he's called Red. And then Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, Kevin Costner, Charlie Sheen, Nicolas Cage were all considered. So there's a scene where Brooksy feeds a maggot to the bird.
Yeah.
And the American Humane Society or Association was on set, and they're always on every movie set making sure animals aren't. They would not let that happen, so they had to find a maggot that had died of natural causes. I'm all for animal Like animal non-cruelty?
So you're saying this because you're the guy that like lets the box elder bugs out.
I
the
do.
door.
I go and I fetch them and I want to release them. And
You
it's
fetch
true.
them, yeah.
So I guess, yes. So I feel
Don't
it.
judge.
It's a little
PETA.
absurd. It's a little absurd. But maybe not. I guess not. I guess
you have
true.
to get like a free range maggot.
They went and they had to find a dead maggot that died from natural causes.
So I bet some guy went out there and like stepped on a maggot.
Whose
and
job is
then-
that? No, I doubt that that's what happened because that looks like a real deal maggot. I kind of feel like it was moving around, but maybe that was just camera trickery. But yeah, it's solid. I mean, what can I say? Number one movie.
We showed my parents are in their 60s. My parents had never seen this movie. So the first time we ever watched this, we watched it with my parents, and both of them, we were a little nervous with like the soap scene, you know.
Sure.
the
Washing
soap
your
scene.
hands, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Tough to watch that.
Yeah, yeah, and we were both a little nervous about watching anything with my parents, but both my parents loved that movie too.
Yeah,
I think
good movie.
I think that's the good thing about that movie is it's good for anybody.
So where do we go from here? We go for a break. I thought it was good. Good top 5. Mine was better, but you'll get there. A couple more episodes, maybe 7 more episodes.
Do you see my face? It's like
I do see your face.
So can I say a couple things?
Yeah, say a couple things. You have things written on paper, which is unusual.
I want to go to my paper. So a couple ones that I had to like redeem myself that were on here that I didn't realize.
Oh, these are your cool movies that
These
you
were
want
my cool movies.
for the Tim Barges of the world.
I know. I have to redeem myself. Again, I went with my gut, but at the same time, Hoosiers, didn't realize that one. 16 Candles, also.
I saw that.
Great movie. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I saw that was
When
on
you
there.
think about that, like talk about like I love innovation, so part of that always is a factor for me, like in movie innovation, and that.
It's funny that you use Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and innovation in the same sentence.
Do you know a lot of other Rick Moranis movies that have large scale ants?
Here's one that I really thought about:
food.
American Beauty.
I didn't have that. No.
You don't think that
Do you know Inside Out?
Yeah, that one I don't.
Love Actually.
You wrote Inside Out. You've got the wrong Inside Out. That's
do?
the Inside Out with Kevin Costner, not Inside Out the cartoon movie.
Well, that's what I was going
That's
with.
what you were trying to say was
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I was.
I'm sure that's what you were trying to say.
I'm gonna research that later. But yeah. Oh, and here. So one more. The last one I really want to talk about is Sliding Doors.
Oh, I didn't even consider it. I didn't see it.
So this is a huge one for me. So I've always thought about
And yet it doesn't make your list, and we're talking about it.
the importance of this movie in people's lives. All I'm going to say about it is it's a movie about literally making the teeniest difference in how you choose what you do in the course of a day can impact the downstream impacts of your life. And I recommend everybody see that movie.
Okay.
Don't you?
No.
Oh.
I don't feel like everybody needs to go out and find it immediately.
Like
and
the
need to see
littlest
it.
thing, like literally like
If
missing.
it's for free and you're looking to kill some time, sure.
Is it free?
No, I don't think it's available right now. You're saying people should go
Yes,
maybe
pay money to see
go
it, yeah.
No, maybe Team Carrie, not Team Rob.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
No, maybe go have a poker night or something. Do something manly instead of seeing that movie.
Anyway. All right.
What do we do? Where do we go from here? Take a break? What do you
It's up to
want
you.
to keep going? Let's keep going.
Okay.
I mean, I'll actually go first because Sliding Doors is actually a pretty decent segue to the rec you assign me. This is the segment where we assign each other movies, either because we think the other person might like it, or in Carrie's case, which has been the thing, this movie maybe she likes or thinks I won't like to punish me. It's my favorite part of the segment. You assign me It's a Wonderful Life. Somehow I have made it this long since 1946, not since I was born, but since the movie was made. And not seen this, but this is a very much of a Sliding Doors type of movie. I actually really liked it. I'll cut to the chase. I really liked It's a Wonderful Life, and I was worried because it's made before 1980, and I have this thing with movies before 1980. I don't like a lot of movies made before that time, just because either the acting is stiff, or the direction is too bad, or the editing, or the music. I could go on and on, where I just can't put myself back to appreciate maybe a great movie from an earlier era. Not have that problem with this movie. I appreciated it. I think it's a great movie. Stars Jimmy Stewart, Donna Reed, but Jimmy Stewart, man, guy could act. He was great. Directed by Frank Capra, who had 58 credits. So it was a director who knew what he was doing at the time. Some of the editing and stuff is a little sloppy, but I can get over it because the acting was really good and the storyline was really solid. And it's about a little bit of a Sliding Doors, but follows Jimmy Stewart's character, which he's this selfless guy. Every opportunity, he gives up opportunities his whole life, in order to help other people, to promote other people. And it kind of like, that's the first hour of the movie. And then like middle part of the movie, he's kind of like, it's the last straw. And he's like, you know what? I got to make a different life choice. And I probably shouldn't have even been born. And, you know, Guardian Angel comes down, and then he kind of sees what his life might have been like had he not been born. Similar to like Sliding Doors, or maybe like a Family Man movie that we saw, but a little bit different take. Nominated for 5 Oscars, didn't win anything, but I really liked it. So I appreciate you. I really was captivated the whole movie. I wanted to keep watching it.
Oh, good.
Connie Wozniak loves it too. Interesting and original. Oh no, I'm mentioning some other things. That's for my movie that I ranked you. No, I really liked it. I think it's a classic. Actually, kind of did write in though. I think she says she watches it every year. She
likes it, yeah.
Yeah, she likes it too. She's been writing in a lot, which I appreciate. But yeah, she liked that movie as well too. I think some other folks might have written in saying it's a classic that they watch.
Yeah.
Actually, Kelly Barnes, your friend, said that she likes classics, but this one is just too sad of a story, and it is sad. I was a little upset that you assigned it to me non-Christmas time frame, but I don't really get a Christmas vibe from this movie at all, except that the last part of the movie takes place over Christmas. Other than that,
I heard "Hark the Herald" Angel sing.
At the last 15 minutes is Christmas, but
would I like it or not like it?
You'd like it.
Yeah. Would I cry?
You'd like it. I probably would. I teared up a little bit. I didn't like sob or anything, but you know, there were some like I was like, it got me. I mean, I'm obviously a lot nicer since having seen it just a few minutes ago. You commented on, boy, you're really nice, and it's just because I saw the movie. Just keep showing me nice movies.
I'm just gonna show it on loop.
So that was what you wrecked. I appreciate it. Really appreciated that movie.
Okay, good.
If you haven't seen it, go check out It's a Wonderful Life.
I saw, based on your recommendation, Frighteners, which was from 1996, a classified comedy, fantasy, horror movie.
Fits the bill, right?
It does.
Yeah.
So I think I went into it thinking it was strictly horror, which it was not. With Michael J. Fox, Trini Alvarado, Peter Dobson, and John Astin. So Michael J. Fox is basically in a car accident, loses his wife, and discovers that he can communicate with the afterlife people. I don't even really know how to describe this movie. It's like I don't even know.
It's like a Sam Raimi. So it's directed by Peter Jackson, who did Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Many people don't know that Peter Jackson got to start doing horror movies, and he always takes like a absurd kind of comedy view. Like there's comedy in the movie,
but there's also
it's scary.
So you said, how old were you when you saw it?
I was 14 years old.
So I remember you saying you're like, I was really
13,
scared when I saw it, and like
Not
I understand.
Really scared, but yeah, in theaters,
you said
dark.
You wet
jumpy.
your pants.
I
little.
peed my pants a lot. Yeah.
So, but it wasn't scary in the way that traditional scary is now. Like it was, there were the elements where it was jumpy and it was scary, but at the same time, it was so goofy that it was hard to get into the scariness of the movie.
Goofy, but then serious horror. Like there's serious stuff happening and blood, and like that's Peter Jackson. It's also very, very much Sam Raimi style.
Yeah.
From Evil Dead kind of series.
I mean, I put this for me. It was a 7.2 on IMDb. I watched it on Netflix. I mean, I put this for me at like a 2.5.
Ouch.
2.75.
Yeah.
For me, it was like if I had known what I was going to see, would I watch it again? I might spend my time on something else. Not the worst movie I've ever seen.
It was just nice for me to see It had been a while since I'd seen Michael J. Fox at that time. Yeah. And then I had never seen a humor comedy horror, so it sticks out to me from my childhood a little bit. So I thought I'd share that one with you.
What would you classify like a Monster Squad as? Like a lesser horror. Does that have humor in it?
Yes, I find Monster Squad
and
humorous.
I should watch it again, because again, to me was when you were watching this, I was watching Monster Squad, and I wonder how I would perceive that differently as an adult. You know,
Monster Squad, you'd probably find it a little bit more childish now if you rewatch it.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
that's what I mean.
Still
like,
probably,
you were like, this is really scary, and I was watching this movie, and I was like, really, Rob? But I think I would find it differently if I was a kid. Like, there were some really scary
stuff
points.
Carved in with razor blades in Monster Squad. So with razors,
right. So it decent. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for
sure.
the
You're welcome.
the diversion.
What do you got for me this week? I'm excited. You seem pretty confident coming down here with a rec for me.
So I always have trouble coming up with ones that I really, really enjoy having ones that I have seen that you haven't. It bothers me when I haven't seen it, which is it's hard for me to find. But I did think of one over the course of the week that you have not for sure seen that I have, and I want you to see it.
All right, I'm ready to write it down.
It's called Knights of Rodante.
Oh, that's right. Nicholas Sparks. I didn't see it because you went when we
With my
early
mom.
on in our dating lives. You went out. You were like, "Hey, I gotta go. I have a good
got a movie
date night with my
we
mom."
saw it at
and I was like, "Oh, Richard
that theater
Gere.
in Barrington.
Diane Lane. Am I right there?
And Richard Gere.
Richard Gere. I said Richard Gere, but
Yeah,
that's okay.
I know, but I'm just saying it again.
He deserves to be mentioned 2 times because that's how
Right,
so
because he
powerful
was
he
that
is.
awesome.
Sure, I'll watch Nicholas Sparks.
It's been the fodder for so many of your jokes, like, "Oh, you're gonna go see Knights of Rodanthe." You call it Knights of Rodanthea,
I don't know what
which
it is.
it's not. And
Apologies, madame.
sorry. And so I want you to see it and just see what you think. Like,
Sure.
I want you to know, like,
This
do
coming
you
from the
wish
guy
you-
who was saying we should go watch Charlie St. Cloud, which could very well be Nicholas Sparks as well too. But I'm okay for a
But
little sap.
maybe,
I could
yeah.
use a little sap in
and
my
and
life.
it's going to be one of those, like, I wish I had been there at the
to hold
theater.
you, to hold you tight.
during the movie.
Sure.
So let me know.
Yeah, I'm at middle of the road. Nicholas Sparks. I'll take it. Why not?
All right.
I have a choice for you.
Okay.
Mainly because Laurel Hose asked me if I had seen it. So you have on the table, and we saw a movie in the other side of the table was this other one with Emily Blunt in it. You get to choose between Edge of Tomorrow and Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer. Okay.
These are all callbacks to movies we just saw. So Edge of Tomorrow has Emily Blunt in it.
Okay.
Snowpiercer has Chris Evans in it.
Ooh.
So
I was
where to go?
I was
Both-
gonna have like an immediate reaction, but now
one's post-apocalyptic.
which one?
Actually, kind of both.
Okay, tell me a little bit.
One is Chris Evans, post-apocalyptic, smaller budget.
Which one?
Chris Evans.
Oh, the
post-apocalyptic.
Snowpiercer, okay.
Yeah, Snowpiercer. Sorry, smaller budget. Edge of Tomorrow, bigger budget. Tom Cruise, Aliens, but cool.
I don't like Aliens.
Probably could have been my favorite movie, near the top of my top 10 movies of 2014.
Okay.
So
Hang on. I'm doing some like really fast. How do you spell piercer? Hang on.
I think you're just have to flip a coin. What are you gonna pick?
I before E, except after C.
What are you gonna gather from? I've just done a great job describing these movies.
Did I come back?
No,
do I have
you
to
can't
do it
come
now?
back. Just pick your heart.
Okay. I will go with Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay. I think you'll enjoy it.
It gets a much better rating on IMDb.
Yeah. Really? Oh, that's surprising. I thought the critics might have liked. I bet the critics liked. No, actually, you know what? Edge of Tomorrow makes a lot of lists of top most underappreciated movies. I think you'll like Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Enjoy it. Well, thanks again for listening. Want to thank Mike Garrigan, as always, for the music that you guys have been listening to. MikeGarrigan.com, where you can find out more about his podcast, his website, where to find his music. Check us out on social media. If you go to our Facebook page, definitely like it. Tell your friends to like it. If you go see a movie or you're watching something, mention us on Facebook. We'd love to hear about what you're watching. Check us out. We're always posting the movies as we watch them, so make sure to comment on that. Check us out on Twitter, alternatingpod.com. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google. Our next show will air on Monday, April 11th, where we'll be doing our top 5 transformations. So we'll catch you then. Take care.